Oh, what a day, what a day, what a day. Hot or cold, gotta drink your ginger. Your ginger water, that is. Feeling a lot better, but slow. Is it safe to go out at night? I guess so. I mean, in general. Market looks bad, of course. And who's cutting that Nord Stream pipeline? And what are some of the crazy headlines going on in China today? Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. I'm Steven Sersky, folks, and thanks for joining me. This year is my daily audio digest, where I yik yak about some of the things that go on here in Beijing, China, where I'm living at the moment, and also some of the other things that keep me amused, such as, well, trying to get better. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I did a token workout this morning. Normally it's the skip and balls workout, wherein I do a 2 mile warm up running, and then I do some skipping, and then I have a medicine ball that I throw around outside as well. Went outside to do a bit of it. I was moving slow. Been basically drinking this ginger water, and for those of you who aren't aware, but ginger itself is actually this is one of these. I guess you could call it a TCM, like a traditional Chinese medicine remedy, but it's quite well known that ginger itself is it's sort of a warming, a heating um, plant, and so you cut it up, you put it in boiling water, and then you drink that, and it's quite nice to drink, but and it burns a little bit going down, but it's very good for you. Uh, it warms your body up a lot, substantially, to the extent that you will be sweating. And so basically, I've been trying to sweat this sickness out a little bit. Uh, yeah, so I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but basically, if you're ever feeling like you have a cold coming on, like a head cold or anything like that, uh, get some ginger, cut it up into the boiling water, and have that. And I think you won't feel like you won't feel better immediately, but it's one of those things that will help you sort of uh, repair yourself, basically. So, and it's a nice cheap method rather than depending on some of the doctors who may or may not give you the best medicine or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I don't trust a lot of the medications that they issue at the pharmacies here. It seems to be rather unnecessary at times, and so I just kind of rely on more naturalistic, holistic sort of things. Not maybe not holistic, but yeah, more natural sort of remedies on how to deal with sicknesses and stuff like that. That being the case, I was rather slow today, but was still able to get quite a bit of reading done for the Delta program. As Since I skipped out on the homework for last week, I tried to get ahead this week, so I was doing quite a bit of reading for that, and was reading about discourse analysis again, and then some writing as well, and it's going all right. I mean, I'm looking at the different things that we have to learn for this course, and it doesn't seem impossible. And this is what week 4 already. We have next week off, so I'm going to spend that time actually, even though we're not allowed to. We could leave the city, but at the same time, it'd be kind of if we leave, we might get stuck outside of the city as well, and we don't want that to happen at all. So with that happening, I mean, I'll get to stay home and get some things done here. So even today, I was able to start sort of figure out which books I had to read and which ones I could sort of push off. But all that being said, I mean, the course only runs for like 13 weeks total, and we're halfway through. Next week is a break, basically a catch-up week, and then into October, who knows how busy work is going to be, but it's you only have one chance to sort of prove your knowledge. I mean, you can rewrite the test, but I don't want to rewrite the test. I want to be done and over with it by the time December rolls around. Uh, Chinese headlines, or I shouldn't say Chinese headlines, headlines occurring in Beijing and in China around. Oh, today was another one. Let's see. We've got supercharged biotechnology rice created in China. This is okay. So, by giving a Chinese rice variety a second copy of one of its own genes, researchers have boosted its yield by up to 40%. helps the plant absorb more fertilizer, boosts photosynthesis, accelerates flowering, all of which can contribute to larger harvests. There you go. So you've heard of what's the one that Canada gets criticized for? GMO, and so now we got biotech rice in Canada. But why did they say GMO, genetically modified? Isn't that or is that not genetically modified? I don't know. Chinese scientists create world's first cloned Arctic wolf. Okay. Less English classes means more Chinese cultural studying. Okay, so they want to reduce the weight of the English language teaching. China's Ministry of Education, the MOE, said foreign languages learning plays an important role, while stressing the importance of strengthening education that passes on traditional Chinese culture and reinforces culture confidence. I guess there's something to be said about that. And to be fair, there is quite a bit of English is just one of the courses that they can choose. They can actually choose Japanese, Russian, and I think either French or Spanish. I'm not sure. There's one other language that they can choose from, but there's four that they can sort of they can write the Gaokao on. Maybe English is actually mandated. I'm not sure. Good question, but they're not restricted to it. They can do English, Japanese, and there's Russian, and there's one other I think as well that they can major in class. And this one was kind of funny. Sexual education class in primary school sparks controversy. Well, the next headline on the other news wire says primary school boys demonstrate the use of sanitary napkins. So this apparently, although it's not nationally mandated, sex ed is non-existent in Chinese schools, which means that these kids basically don't know anything about, sex. And I'm looking at this picture that they have. There's two boys, young boys, like 10 or 12 years old, standing in front of a green board, like a chalkboard, and pasted onto the chalkboard, I think, are three different sizes of tampons. And these are the big ones that sit inside your panties. They're not tampons. So these are, what would you call? I'm not even sure. The sanitary napkins, yes, but they're not the other ones, whatever those are called. I hate to say that I know this, but women here don't use tampons as we understand them in the West. They use these massive ones that more like liners, I guess you could call them, than anything else. It's such a bizarre topic, and I almost feel kudos to these guys, these boys standing up to demonstrate this and allow themselves to be recorded in that situation. I guess the issue here is that the school has gone ahead with this type of education. Why isn't it girls doing this, right? Or two women, not girls. Why isn't it two grown women demonstrating how to use these things rather than two young boys? Like that, I guess that's who's the target market for this? Oh goodness, guys, come on, schools, come on. So, and not only that, this is if you're wondering, but wait a minute, Steve, that's not sex ed. You're right, which is the other issue is that they're still not learning about sex ed. Rather, they are learning just about how. Actually, it doesn't go on too much about what else they learned in that class, but I mean, the sanitary napkins usage was the big focal point because that's what the video shows. The comments are always kind of funny to read on these. I read them through Expat Focus, and that's the one that sort of seems to draw a lot of the comments. And yeah, some of the foreigners can really rip into that sometimes. Yeah, so it's not sex ed as we know it. It's currently not. But hopefully that changes. I guess it sort of indicates a little bit of a change overall in the education sort of focus of the education curriculum, so that they're at least aware of what some of these things do, right? But yeah, maybe get the women to do that. Split the group. I don't know if what was it like when you were in school? Was it you had two separate classes? I think that's what happened. Is that they split the classes up. There was the boys' class and the girls' class, and we sort of got told, gender specific points to remember, sort of thing, to points to be aware of, sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, but although I do recall there have been some of the older, like my age, like not kids these days, but older um, Chinese women, like this conversation's come up every now and then. They've said that there is a sex ed, there is it a biology class or something? There's some class that they get, but it's literally one of these things where they split the class up. The the teacher kind of uncomfortably stands there, says, "Read the textbook," and then that's it. Like there's no discussion, there's no question and answer, there's no like in your experience, there's no like what would you recommend? Nothing. There's zero actual talk about it. It's all very um, circumventing the actual subject, I guess you could call. So if you are a sex ed specialist, hey, China might be a market for you to penetrate. Well, to at least to come into, or to at least um, think about posting more Chinese accessible social media videos, right? That are, of course, don't offend anybody at the same time. Well, that is to say that at least with this class, I mean, they're trying, right? In other news, let's see. Well, there's only one in here. 9 people arrested for organizing carpooling in COVID risk areas. Well, this, it's in Beijing. Are you kidding me? So I think this is one of these things where people, Didi, this cab company, this ride sharing company, that is fantastic to use. They got shut down basically. So there's a couple things happening with Didi. They got shut down because they were some of government regulations or whatever. So that was number one. But number two was that during these recent lockdowns over the last year or so, the company wasn't able to operate in some portions of the city. So if the city was in like a lockdown, you couldn't get a cab, and the cabs couldn't pick you up, and they couldn't drop you off there. And so this is what is happening here. I guess from December 2021 to April 2022, guideline pricing is nuclear. This is okay. That's a little bit different. Okay, so this is talking about some sort of I don't know. They're talking about nucleic acid tests. Posted offering services for people from COVID-19 risk areas in North China's Tianjin and Hebei, so that they could enter. These people would take you in, and I guess have some sort of way of getting you a negative nucleic acid test as well. So whatever that means, basically, if you did that, now you're getting into trouble. There it goes.